I'm totally honest, this is usually where I just walk around with my leg farting for the rest of the night. This is the hardest decision I've ever had to make, but maybe showing my journey will help others remember who they are. We are not defined by our circumstances. I know you have a bucket list, and so do I. So scared or not, let's take back control of our own destiny, because we are worth it. One of the most annoying things about being an amputee for me right now is the volume change in my limb. Because what happens is it fits in the morning, but then later on in the afternoon, it's really, really sore because I slip further down into the socket, being more end bearing on the end of my limb rather than my socket holding me on the sides. So now I have to take the entire thing apart, take off my rings that hold the suction, and try to find a better fit. This is the spot on the end of my limb that's getting very, very sore from being end bearing. It's right there at the end of my bone. This is my bone right here. And so whenever I walk only on the end, it's all right here on this point. So what I'm trying to do is have my socket hold the sides of my leg before it ever touches the bottom, so that I'm walking holding my sides rather than hitting it all on the bottom of my limb. In order to do that, I'm going to put on various size socks. This one is a 5-ply, this one is a 3-ply, this one is a 1-ply, which is basically the thickness. You can double, triple them up, get any combination you want, like this is an 8, this is a 6, this is a 4, and so on and so forth. I also have different size rings. So this ring is the one that I use in the morning. It's fairly flat. And this ring is the one that I typically switch to in the afternoon because it has a lot more fluff in it and it makes suction easier. As my limb loses volume, I start to lose suction, which makes that squeaking sound or the air like sound, almost like when people say that their leg is farting, that's what they mean. So I'm going to try on the 5 first. This is always a gamble. This is always tricky. I don't ever get it right the first time. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is the 5, and I'm going to try on. If you're wondering why I have 2 of these, it's because they're 2 different sizes. This is a 38, and this is a 38, so it's bigger. So these don't fit right now, actually. This is my smaller liner, but for whatever reason, it rolls at the top. It fits better, but it rolls and it drives me nuts. So until I figure out a way to not have it roll at the top and roll down my thigh, I don't like to wear it. So I'm going to work with these things. 8 usually doesn't fit, so I'm going to try a 1-ply and a 5-ply to make 6. I'm going to do a preliminary test, see how well it fits. It does fit. What happens, I'll show you what happens. If I try to put on too big of a ring, the thicker ring, it'll just roll up as I try to put it into my socket. My husband is blowing leaves outside, so you can't really hear it, but the 6 fits fairly well with the fatter ring, but it's making that sound. Listen. That means I don't have suction and I have to try something else. It's farting the whole way to the bed. See, I can literally...
Where'd you go?
I can literally take my leg off without even unscrewing the valve. That's not good. That means I don't have any suction at all. This is why this is so annoying, because if this happens while you're out and about, like shopping halfway through your day, you don't have time to sit down and switch all this out and figure out the right combination, let alone carry all this stuff around with you. If I'm totally honest, this is usually where I just walk around with my leg farting for the rest of the night. Hang on, Teddy, I'll be down in a minute. I have to figure out how to get my leg to stay on. This is incredibly frustrating. I don't even know what combination to do right now. I have on 9-ply and my thickest ring, and I still can't get it to stop losing suction. Like, it's making my eye twitch. I'm trying to think of what my prosthetist would do right now. I'm going to switch back to my bigger liner because my tighter liner might shrink my limb more, whereas my bigger liner might not. I don't know. I'm just going to try it. It's harder to take off, so I know I'm getting close. I'm going to try the bigger liner with the 9-ply and the flat rings. Or maybe even the thick rings, I don't know. We'll just try both, see what happens. Eventually, I'll either give up and go make dinner, or I'll get it right. Because this has a silicone outside, it's like a magnet for any sort of lint or hair, and I try to keep it as clean as possible. I prefer this liner because it is more broken in. If you can see the knee area, it bends to my knee, and I just prefer this liner more. This is 5. This is 3, so this makes 8. And this is a 1-ply, and I have more in the drawer. I can put more on. They're just not going to fit in the socket. So now I have 9-ply on right now. I'm going to see how well it fits into my socket before I decide to go with the flatter ring or the thicker ring that stands up more. really snug. I'm going to try the flatter ring, see what happens. We're going to go with the thicker one. I'm going to take off the 1 ply and add another 3 ply that doesn't have the foot part. So I have 5, 3, and 3. Well, this sock is kind of annoying because it doesn't have the bottom, so it pulls up whenever I put my rings on. I'm so over this right now. Honestly, I'm frustrated. I don't know what to do. I'm frustrated. Like, I don't even want to continue filming because I'm so frustrated about it. Okay, it's still not working. I could barely get my leg into the socket with these rings on. So what I'm thinking is happening is that the rings are rolling at the bottom, and so that's why it's not holding suction. But I don't know how to beef up the sides of my leg unless I pull the sock to the middle portion of my leg where it needs to be beefed up around my calf, and then put the rings on the bottom where there's only like 8 ply. We might be onto something. I'm still trying to get my leg to stay on. I'll be down in a minute. I've now been working at this for about 25 minutes. I don't even know what I have on right now. 5, 3, 1, 1. So I'm going to take these off. I'm going to put on, so now I have 5, 3. I'm going to put on another 3, but only on my calf area. So I'm going to leave it up here, right here, and then leave this area only at 8 ply. And put on the thicker ring. See if that works. Nope. And I can feel the end of my limb hitting the bottom of the socket. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lose tonight. That was hard to say. I'm going to put on the 5, 3, 1 and 1 and the flat rings. And I'm gonna go downstairs and live my life because I'm over it. I'm just gonna have my leg fart for the rest of the night. Oh, excuse me, sorry, go ahead. Didn't mean to get in your way. Okay, so my husband and I have been trying to solve this problem. I'm still trying to solve this problem. It's a couple hours later. I took off all of, stop. Go behind me. Just go behind me. I took off all of my socks, all of these socks, and I put on only my liner and my rings. And I have suction. There is no fart sound. But it hurts too bad to walk on it because I'm completely end bearing and it's not holding me up on the sides at all. So we cut a piece of foam to fit inside the bottom of my socket. But that didn't do anything. It still hurts way too bad to walk on it. So that's just to catch you up. Now, then I was thinking, okay, I need this part intact in order to have the suction. But I need the girth of the socks here. And these are the ones that came from my prosthetist office with an open end at both ends. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. That makes it more annoying. Why is it like that? These are the ones that came home from my surgery that aren't cut out. These are the ones that I've been putting on. So I am going to keep the ring on the sleeve and only add socks to the upper part of my leg. We're gonna see what happens. So this is a 3-ply, and this is a 3-ply, and this should have been my first clue. This was one of the socks that he sent me home with that he didn't have one that was open at the end, so he cut it. And at the office, I was thinking, why would he cut that? That's weird. All right. So that is 6-ply on the sides. I'll probably need another one, but I'm going to try it first. Okay, success. No sound, still, but I'm still end bearing and it hurts really, really bad. So we're getting somewhere. I'll add another sock. See if I can girth up my sides a little bit more. So this will be a total of 9 ply. Let's see if I can get it on there. Okay, so now I have 9 ply and the flat rings. Let's try it again. I'll have to shove all those socks in there. No sound, a little less pain, but still painful. So, I'm going to try a different combination. I'm going to put on my 5 ply. And my thick rings. And see if I still have suction before I start adding socks to girth up my sides. And this is a workout all on its own. Oh, whoops. I didn't put the screw on. Burnt sound. I lost suction. So the ring has to be in contact with the liner. I'm going to do the thick rings attached straight to the liner. Now that I know that this has to be in contact with my liner in order for this to work, I'm going to add the socks on top of it with the thicker rings, because last time I had all 3 socks, which made 9 ply, but with the thin rings. Ta-da! Ta-da! It's still a little bit painful on the ends, but I think that's just because it's sore. I did it! I did it! I'm glad I finally figured this out. It's just one of those things as being an amputee that you have to figure out on your own sometimes. I would very much appreciate all of the tips and tricks that you seasoned amputees have. It would help me out a lot, save me a lot of hours of trying to figure this stuff out. Please subscribe if you haven't. Pass this along to somebody if you find it helpful, and I'll see you on the next video.